welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Savannah Liddell, and if you're returning, then welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Covergirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk Foundation. That's a long name. If you guys are interested in seeing how this foundation performs on somebody with combination skin, so a mixture of dry and oily, stay tuned. Before we get started, please take a moment and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. It really helps me out. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, that way more people can see this video. So before we get into the application, I do want to go through some facts about the foundation. If you don't care about this part, you can skip. I'll leave the timestamp right here so you can fast forward to the actual application. This is the Covergirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk Foundation. It has a really long name. It is vegan, so if that's something that's important to you, that's really good to know. It also has a dewy finish, so if you're just straight up oily skin, you probably wouldn't like this. Since I have combination skin, I do have dry skin as well, so I don't mind a little dew, but too much dewy is kind of scary, but we'll get into that. I actually got this from CVS, and can you guys see the sticker? They put the sticker on here and I can't get it off, so I apologize for that. I got the shade 620. Speaking of shades, there's only 14 shades. Out of the shades I saw at my CVS, this was the best one, I think, for my skin tone. I don't know if it's gonna be the right one, but it was the best one out of what they gave. So 14 shades is not really that much. I hope that if the line does well that they can expand the shades, because I'm not really sure about this. I also went to the Covergirl website just to get a little bit more information. So as far as price and where you can purchase this at, you can purchase this at 4 places. It is available on Amazon, at Ulta, Walgreens, and CVS. I will say the cheapest prices were at Ulta and Amazon, so just keep that in mind, and it was retailing for $8.39. So on the back of the product, it does say that it claims 4 things. It says that it's going to blur your imperfections, even out your skin tone, and it says that it is sheer buildable coverage. So I mostly love full coverage foundations, but I really wanted to try this for some of my lighter days where I don't want a face full of makeup, but I just want to even out my skin tone. So I thought maybe this might do the trick. So I'm fine with it being sheer coverage. I like that it's buildable. And lastly, it says instant and all day hydration. So if you have a really dry skin, it sounds like this would be good for you, but we'll see. All right, so let's get straight into the application. So I've already put on my moisturizer. I am going to prime my face a little bit. I'm gonna use the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas. This is gonna help smooth out my skin. So let's see what the consistency of this foundation is. So here's what it looks like. I just wanna see what the color is gonna look like. I'm just gonna do a swatch down here. It doesn't look terrible. Let's see. I'm gonna blend a little bit out with my finger. I do feel like this is a little bit dark. I feel like I want a little bit more yellow in this and then it would be perfect, but we'll see. I think it'll do for what we had available out of the 14 shades. Before I go in with the foundation all over my face, I like to color correct because I do have some hyperpigmentation. So I'm gonna use my LA Girl Pro Concealer and just take care of that really quick. So to apply the foundation today, I am gonna use a sponge. This is a Real Technique sponge. If you guys want fuller coverage in general, this is with any foundation, I recommend using a brush because it's not gonna soak up your product the way that a sponge will do, but I just like the application of a sponge. I'm gonna start off by just putting the foundation on this side of my face. That way we can compare. Okay, so this is what it looks like with this half done and then this half has nothing on. So to me, this side obviously looks a lot more dewy. It's the wrong color, so I'm not really happy about that. It didn't cover anything, but again, we're working with sheer coverage. overall not impressed right now. Honestly, it really didn't do anything for me. It does feel very lightweight, so I don't really feel like I have anything on. I feel kind of sweaty in a way, I guess because it's a lot of dewiness. So I'm gonna finish applying this on the other half of my face, and then I think I'm gonna go in with a second layer because the foundation did claim to be buildable, and I want just a little bit more coverage than this. So we're gonna do that. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but I'm trying to really take a close look, and this foundation did claim to blur out your imperfections, and I do think it actually is blurring some things out. It's not covering, but it's definitely giving me dewy blurring effect. All right guys, so this is one application of the foundation. It is definitely dewy. Again, I feel kind of sweaty, but I haven't set my face, so there might still be potential. I do not like the color. It does feel lightweight, and I do feel like it is blurring out my imperfections, and it is definitely giving me sheer coverage, which is why I'm gonna go in with another layer, and let's see if that gives us a little bit more coverage. Cover up this just a little bit. Like, I don't mind it showing a little bit, but not as much as it is. So I started to cover this up a little bit. I mean, it's still peeking through. So this definitely is buildable. I can see I'm getting more of a lightweight, maybe potentially a medium coverage. So this is what a second layer of foundation is looking like. It definitely is buildable because it did give me a little bit more coverage. I feel like we're at a light coverage, jumping a little bit to medium, but not quite there. It is very dewy, a little bit too dewy for me. And then the color is off, so that's like, eh. What I wanna do is go ahead and use my concealer, and I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer today. I'm hoping that this will balance out the darkness because this foundation is a little bit too dark for me. So, and I'm hoping, well, not hoping, I know this works. This will cover up my dark circles because that is something that I like coverage on. So like I was saying, this does feel a little bit too dewy for me, having combination skin, but I feel like hopefully when I set it with my powder that it'll balance it out. Okay, so now I have my concealer on, and I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with a little bit of powder. I'm gonna use my Laura Mercier powder. I'm just gonna lightly set this because I still want my skin to look like skin. So no baking today. I'm just gonna really set, ooh, powder in my eye. I'm just gonna put the powder in the places where I tend to get really oily because like I said, I don't mind a little bit of dewiness. I just don't want dewiness in my T-zone, which is basically where the oil comes the most. And I'm gonna start a little bit under my eyes and my eyelids. So this is what we're looking like with a little bit of powder in the T-zone. I like it a lot better because that's what was scaring me, the dewiness all up in here. I just was not feeling, but if you set it with powder, I think you might be okay. I'm gonna actually finish the rest of my face off camera, and then I'm gonna come back and tell you guys my full conclusion about this foundation. Okay y'all, so I am back. I have done my full face with the foundation on. So now we're gonna go over my overall conclusion. Overall, my makeup turned out okay. Once I put on the rest of my products, I actually think I could wear this and feel okay. Now, would I repurchase this foundation? No. The reasons why I would not repurchase this foundation is because one, the color range sucked. I'm sorry, 14 shades is just not enough. So I would love for them to expand on the shade range if they're gonna keep this in their line, because I just don't think there's enough options. So if I were going for a foundation that just evened out my skin tone, I still wouldn't pick this only because the finish is dewy. And with me having combination skin, I do tend to get oily in my T-zone, and that's just something that I don't need. I don't need extra dewiness because I already naturally have it. You know what I'm saying? With my oil. The biggest turnoff for me was actually the shade range, because even with the dewiness, once I set my face, it was actually fine. It kind of balanced it out. But the shade range is just really what turned me off. I did feel like it blurred out my imperfections, so that was a plus. And I think on the other side of things, if you do have really dry skin, you would love the finish of this. The dewiness you would love. I really would only recommend this for someone who literally has perfect skin, like no imperfections, and has really dry skin. That is the only time I would recommend this foundation. Otherwise, it's a no for me. I hope that this foundation review gave you guys some insight and let you know if this foundation would be for you or not. If you've tried this foundation before, please comment below and tell me what your thoughts were. If you guys want me to do more foundation reviews, I will be happy to do that. So if you guys want me to review another foundation, comment that down below. I hope this video helped you out. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me with the algorithm. It helps push my videos. Also, make sure that you are following me on Instagram at Vanna Liddell, and I will see you guys in the next video.